Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Camille Majdali.
We're talking about Christianity in Europe, and through all of those early years of formation of Christianity in Europe, Camille, we get to this point where there's a major split called the Reformation. Then there's the birth of the Protestant Church. The missionary movement takes the gospel out not only into Europe, but also a race then to actually get missionary endeavour around the world. But there comes a point where there's an erosion of that Christianity in Europe. What was the cause? What was happening at that time when things began to slow down?
What happened, I believe, was a process of things. First of all, Jesus tells us, "On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." We do believe in God's power to not only birth, but to grow and to preserve his church. Having said that, that doesn't mean the church won't be under attack. That will be a constant as long as we're in this fallen world, Neil. But what happens is, if the church gets distracted, lazy, unvigilant, turning the other way, or for some reason just doesn't want to fight the good fight of faith, then the attacks can be more empowered and more effective. When you consider the history of Europe, let's just say in the last 200 plus years, there was the Enlightenment. There was, of course, the rise of the teaching of evolution. There is also the advent of what we call liberal theology. And there are other things that happen too, other ideologies, other philosophies, like, for example, existentialism, postmodernism. These things, if not addressed properly, they will just continue to grow, and they will poach people from the church. Now, some of these people may never have belonged to begin with, but unless we're prepared to fight the good fight of faith, then we are going to be vulnerable as sitting ducks to every wind of doctrine.
We often talk about the battle for hearts and minds. With the advent of the Reformation, was there a battle that was going on not just for hearts and minds, but people saw the battle for souls, that there was a spiritual dimension that needed to be won in the individual?
You know, I think that all that can apply, but the battle of hearts and minds, I'm not sure the people involved, the leadership involved, was actually aware of what was going on. Oftentimes they don't. Because remember, we're not dealing with normal adversaries and competitors. Ultimately, we're dealing with spiritual ones. But unless we have the discernment and the spiritual maturity to see these things and to respond in a godly way, then no, we will be shadowboxing with the wrong enemy.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Camille Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Camille, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.